Hello guys, this is Sharun here from 24/7 Techie, and in this video we are going to compare the two tele-ventures phone. The first one is the Yureka, which was launched last year December and came on sale this year January, and this one is the Yuphoria, which has just now come into the existence, and not even a month has been done with the launch of this phone. Both the phones offer great specs on paper, and both of them are good value for money. And in this video we are going to compare which phone is better in performing in day-to-day life. So first of all, we will get with the specs of the phone. This one is 5.5-inch HD screen, 720p screen, and it comes with Snapdragon 615 inside, which is an octa-core 64-bit chipset, which is clocked at 1.5 GHz. This one comes with an 5-inch HD screen, which is also 720p. Comes with a Snapdragon 410 chipset, which is clocked at 1.2 GHz. Is a quad-core chipset with 64-bit enabled. So after the specs, we will check how does these two phones compare against each other. The price difference between the phones are not really very much. One of them is 7,000 rupees and one is 9,000 rupees. But in performance point of view, there is a big difference. So both of the phones will be compared. We'll start with the double tap to wake. Both phone wakes up at double tap to wake, so that is really good. Fan engine mode powers both the phones, and both are good performance. This is a 5.5-inch HD screen. This is a 5-inch HD screen. Used for both of the phones and tested them a lot, and I've come to a conclusion that this phone's display tends to go towards a bit of the cooler temperature, but still is a great screen for 9,000 rupees. And this one goes towards a little bit of reddish pinkish tint. I have been using it. I have also made a issues and doubts video, and in that also I showed you guys that this display does goes towards the pinkish tint. I hope future updates can fix that. And the quality of display that has been used, the crispness is much better on this. If we compare it with this, you can see in the video also, this looks much better as a display because it is a smaller display and packs a little bit more pixels per inch compared to the Yureka, so that's why the display quality on this is better. If we talk about the camera, both of them have good cameras. This comes with a 13 megapixel camera and 5 megapixel in the front camera. This comes with a 8 megapixel back camera and 5 megapixel front camera, but both of them are front camera are fixed focus and the back cameras are autofocus, single LED flash. If we compare the quality of the cameras, as you can see in it clearly that the pinkish tint is a very big effect on this phone. Both are on same. Now I'll do it on auto. As you can see, the camera are similar, the software are similar, and the quality is big difference. The quality on this camera is really very much better than compared to this camera. And if we talk about the front camera, front camera is much better on the Yuphoria compared to the Yureka, but the back camera is much better on the Yureka. And if we talk about the audio quality, the audio quality by the loudspeaker is very good in the Yuphoria, and in Yureka it's nowhere near to the Euphoria's quality. But if we test out the quality by the headphones jack, then the Yureka has a much better quality from the headphones jack compared to the Yuphoria. Yuphoria has been complained from a lot of people that the headphone jack doesn't perform really very well. I have also tested it out, and it was a little bit on the bad quality. Both the phones are having 2 gigs of RAM and 16 GB of internal storage. Both has a micro SD card slot, and in the memory point of view, both perform good. The 615 perform much better if we compare it to the raw performance, but 410 is also not a bad considering this. If we talk about the in-hand feel, the Yuphoria is much better in the in-hand feel, as you can see, it is metal built It is a metal build and the design is also really good, and as it's a 5-inch display mobile, it is really easy to use it at one hand. It performs very well in one hand, but the Yureka is a little bit difficult to use it in one hand. The button placement is okay-ish, because the lock screen button is okay, but the volume button is a bit hard. But in the one hand operations point of view, this is a little bit difficult to use it in one hand. The second hand is really compulsory for the Yureka's usage. If we talk about the gaming on these phones, I have not yet published the gaming review of this phone, but I have done gaming on both the phones, and I've noticed that Yureka handles the games much better, as it is having a superior chipset. Yureka heats up a little bit more than compared to the Yuphoria's 410 chipset, because the 615 is an octa-core processor, and it is very famous for its heating issues. It is almost fixed after the couple of CyanogenMod updates, but it does heat up a little bit. USB OTG is supported on this mobile, but USB OTG is not supported on the Yuphoria. LED notification light is also missing from the Yuphoria. They have skipped on a couple of things. They have also skipped on a very big thing, which is the physical buttons. Yureka has a very big plus point. If we compare both the displays, it has an option of having on-screen buttons and off-screen buttons, which are the physical buttons. But the U tele-ventures have skipped this in the Yuphoria. They don't have any physical buttons or any hardware buttons. They all have it the on-screen buttons. We cannot choose on-screen or off-screen buttons, which is a very big drawback, as they are powered by CyanogenMod, and CyanogenMod has been famous for having both options from the time of OnePlus. So the Yuphoria has skipped on that thing. So to attain this price point with a metal build quality, they had skipped 3 to 4 important things, like USB OTG, LED notification light, and the buttons. If we talk about the battery is bigger on the Yureka compared to the Yuphoria, but as there's a little bit of difference between the display size and the chipset that they are using, the battery life on both the phones are very much same. There's no if you can't really find a winner in these categories. If we talk about the build quality is really good and sort of premium on the Yuphoria. As you all can see, it is having a metal chassis around it. It is not a whole metal frame, just the outside is metal, which is also a great thing to have in a 7,000 rupees phone. And in the Yureka, it is whole plastic build, but it is a good rubberish plastic material, which doesn't feel like cheap, but still in build quality and design point of view, Yuphoria will take the lead from it. There's a very big difference in the build quality also, because U tele-ventures claims that they have built this device from the scratch. They have not taken this device from anyone else, as Yureka was taken from a different device manufacturer. It was taken from the Coolpad. They are supplying this device, which was then rebranded as U and Yureka and put on CyanogenMod. But this is a device which is solely claimed to be built by U tele-ventures, and they also claim that they have filed 4 patents for this phone. This may be the first time that they filed any patents regarding a phone design or anything. Both are powered by the CyanogenMod 12 and are running similar softwares. As you can see, the themes the default theme and everything is same on this phone, and both are running on Android 5.0.2. So in software point of view, you won't really find a very big difference. A couple of things would be missing, but the difference is not very much. According to me, if you are looking for a phone under 10k, so you should be going for the Yureka compared to the Yuphoria. If we talk about the weight of the phone, this phone comes with 151 grams with battery, and this phone weighs at 143 grams with battery. There is a big thing that is missing in this Yuphoria, which the Yureka has it, and Yuphoria should have had it. So our one of the complaint would have been solved, which is the display in the color collaboration. If we go into the display in Yureka, you can see that we have the color collaboration, but there is no color collaboration. We can edit anything. Like as you can see, we can do anything in this whatever we find which is right, but in the Yuphoria we cannot. The pinkish tint cannot be resolved. If it could have been resolved if CyanogenMod or the tele-ventures would have provided us with the color collaboration, but they have not, which is not really a good thing. They have also skipped on this thing, which I really didn't like. So guys, as you can see, after using this mobile for a couple of days, we are left with 1.2 gigs of RAM free, and in this we have left with 1 gigs of RAM free. So both the phones are performing well, and both the phones are having more than 1 gigs of RAM free. In this I've installed a little bit of more apps, that's why it's showing as 1 gigs, but it's around similar in both the phones. Both are having Gorilla Crowning 3 to protect the display. I am not having any scratch guard or tempered glass on this. I do have a tempered glass on this because this has been a permanent member in my phone collection, so that's why I've not yet decided to keep it or leave it. So if we talk about price to performance ratio, both phones are performing really very well in their price points, and they are the best. They can be considered as the best in their price point. I have been using the Yureka for a long time and I don't have any big issues with the phone. Now I have had the Yuphoria for a couple of days. I have found some issues, some things that are difficult to digest in the phone. Just the pink tint is really very bad. I cannot digest that. So that's up to you what you really want to have. But for the price, these are really good. These phones are really good. You should not hesitate in going for any of these phones. Thank you guys for watching this video. This was Sharun here from 24/7 Techie, and I just now showed you guys the difference between the Yureka and the Yuphoria, and both the devices have been performing well. I will be soon coming out with a lot more videos for the Yuphoria, the benchmarks and the final review also pretty soon. So do subscribe to the channel for all those. I've made a lot more videos. Do check them out, and do subscribe to the channel. Help us a little bit also. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, but do give us a feedback, and do stay tuned to the channel because we will be back soon.